So we're in Clovis, California, and we just wanted to do a quick video of the floor flange. This is the closet flange that's glued to a 4-inch soil pipe. As you can see, the 4-inch soil pipe is penetrating the flange, which creates a pretty substantial lip where the wax is supposed to seat. They had the old flanged wax ring in there, so it's got a diverter built in, the plastic part. The problem with it, when you those two items meet, it just pushes out all the wax, and now it's sitting just plastic to just a very thin rim all the way around, as opposed to sitting out here on the flange, which is this portion, the nice flat portion, which is completely filthy. So this had failed somewhat. You had some water leaking in here. You can see the corrosion at the bolt here, and so we're going to pull those out, put new bolts in, and then we're going to go ahead and we're going to cut the excess flange off so that we can get a nice new seat down here on top of the actual flange itself, and not up here on the soil pipe. And then we'll take another video when we're done. So we're still here in Clovis, California. We have the second portion of this video right here. You can see we've already put in some new bolts, brand new right here. A little bit of distortion to the ABS plastic where the bolts were. It's pulled up a little bit on both sides. It's hard to tell from the camera, but when you over tighten it, it just starts pulling the plastic. But overall, it's in good shape, cemented in. All the anchor bolts are in. You can see bolt right there, bolt right there. And plus you can see there's no longer any lip from the flange across to the pipe right here. It's flush. So what's going to happen now when we put the wax ring down, it's actually going to sit on the plastic. And we did scrape off all the extra junk that was sitting up on the flange, so it's to the best of our ability. So it's nice material there for the wax ring to mount against. So we'll get the toilet set and take another video when we're done. So we're still in Clovis, California, the master bath. Last portion of this video, the toilet's installed. The flange was modified, the closet flange that was glued on when this house was plumbed originally. We cut off the soil pipe penetrating that just to give it a nice smooth surface to set the wax ring. It's Kohler Cimarron elongated, purchased right out of Home Depot. And so it sounds real good. We got a couple shims in there. One about where the bolt's at on this side, down low. There's a shim. Your tile is not level, so the back, it rolls down. And then this tile kind of slopes down, and that back tile slopes into it. So it creates a big gap right here. So anyways, two shims here, one here, about one right there. Shim on the other side about where the bolt's at. Just so you don't have that downward pressure with nothing supporting it. And then it's caulked in, let that dry for 24 hours before you mop in here and clean up in here. Everything is working correctly, so it is filling correctly, shutting down correctly, and flushing correctly, so that's good. Seats installed, that comes with the toilet. We did replace the shutoff, not the shutoff, but the supply line. It's a 3/8 by 7/8 by 20-inch braided stainless steel supply, and that's a brass craft, and that's straight out of Home Depot as well. The shutoff valve is existing to the home. It's not dripping currently. It's real dry. Usually, right away, by the time you start turning it off, it'll start dripping, and you've got a problem. But we've checked it after about a half an hour, and no dripping there, so we're in good shape. So anyways, we're going to get over to the next bathroom. Outside of that, this toilet installation is done. So we're still in Clovis, California. We've just finished in the hall bath here. And this is the same thing, Kohler Cimarron toilet, straight out of Home Depot. It's the round front, and it's almost as long as the old elongated bowl that was in here from American Standard. Covered up the entire footprint down there. So it's about as deep as the toilet that was in there that was elongated. So anyways, Kohler Cimarron, round front, a couple shims around there. Perimeter's got the caulking, it's water-based. Wait 24 hours for your mop in here. Did replace the shutoff, not the shutoff valve. The supply line, 3/8 by 7/8 by 20-inch braided stainless steel supply line. That's the brass craft, straight out of Home Depot. That valve is specific to the home, original installation. That's not ours. It is a little sticky. Both of them are pretty sticky. I would recommend not using those at all. Something goes on. The functionality is so stiff that I'm afraid something's going to snap if you try and use these. This one was worse, and also just as a side note, it seems like the tank is filling slowly. So I think you may have an obstruction in that shutoff valve right there. But it's filling correctly, shutting off correctly, flushing correctly. So everything's good here. Everything's in, seats in, lids on, it's caulked in. We've flushed it quite a few times, so there's no leaking. And but I would monitor that. If you feel like there's something going on as far as waiting too long for it to fill, certainly you can give us a call and we'll come out and see if we can replace this shutoff valve. It's iron pipe stubbed out, so we'll see what we can do. Anyways, outside of that, this installation is done.